Welcome, welcome. Mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, gender. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The thing felt, as per Neville Goddard, is the thing that you will do. Tell me I'm wrong. The thing felt is the thing that you will do. I dare you to test that. I dare you to do it today. The thing that you feel is the way you will act. Look at yourself and you'll see it to be true. For instance, if you feel a little bit sad, what do? You find that sad song, don't you? Because you want to feel sad just a little bit longer. So you play that song. You think you played the sad song because you were bored? No, you played the sad song because you felt. Now, if you're in another kind of mood, you're feeling a little lighthearted, you find a song that matches because of how you feel. And if you feel like fighting, you let somebody walk by and look at you funny. What you looking at? It is always the feeling that moves us. So, if you know that it is the feeling that moves you, then naturally make yourself feel. What do you think we do when we reminisce? We make ourselves feel. You think reminiscing is just for shits and giggles? No, you want to feel something. That's why you reminisce. Naturally. So what you do, right? Because remember, every vision has its appointed hour. It will ripen, it will flower. If it be long, wait, because it will not be late. Yes. Who's a poet and didn't know it? Oh. This is what we do. Get a little bit creative. Would you walk down the mall? Now, if you were happily married, yes? Keyword, happily. And you walked down the mall and you saw a piece of lingerie. I know it's lingerie, come on. Or you saw these pair of boxers. I don't know how men shop for these things. I don't even know if they do these things. I know chicks do, but you know what? I digress. You walk down that mall and you see La Vie en Rose, or you see Victoria's Secret, whatever you got in your part of the world. We have La Vie en Rose, My Life in Pink, yes? You walk by and this little number catches your eye. You have already put it on and you have already seen his face. Have you not? That's what makes you buy it. You have already acted it out. But because it does not have the same outcome as a house, because we look at the market and we say, oh, look at the price of houses. Girl, you can't get into no houses here this time. You already priced out of the market. You don't even have a down payment. And nobody asked you about a down payment. What moves you? Have you seen the driveway? Have you seen the backyard? Have you seen the picket fence? How does it make you feel? And that is what you rock with, lean with, dip with. What? The feeling. It is the feeling. And if you stay faithful to that feeling, not the, I ain't got no money in the bank, I can't get no house. Please. Why would I want to anchor myself to a mortgage? We find all of the excuses to not feel. Because we don't want to be disappointed. But in actuality, we don't project things out of ourselves like that. Naturally, we project things based on how we feel. So here you are wanting something. And instead of fully indulging in the beauty of it, because you know the principle of correspondence, as within, so without. You know the principle. And instead of rocking with the principle, we say to ourselves, meh, it's not for me. It's not for me. I'll just be alone forever. But let you smell your favorite cologne on a man and the feelings come right back. And what do? Smother them. And then we say, but I'm lonely. Why did you keep smothering your feelings? You're supposed to develop it, dearest. It's the same reason why you need to develop the gluten on the inside, so that when you cut the bread, it has form. You think we need because we're bored and we're trying to build our arm muscles? No. You need because the kneading develops something in the dough that brings out the flavor and the texture. So when we imagine, we are kneading. We are bringing out of ourselves a texture, a taste, a shape. That is what we do when we imagine. But we think imagination belongs to children. And we think it belongs to children so much that we stop using it. When in actuality, our imagination is what powers everything. Because the imagination is the awareness of. And it is how we mold and shape our awareness that projects it out of ourselves. But we have been convinced that imagination is just foolishness. When in actuality, we use the imagination every single day. We could use the imagination to cuss George out, cuss Aunt May out, cuss your mama out, your daddy out. We can use the imagination for all of those things, but we can also use the imagination to say and ask ourselves, what would I like to become? What would I be doing in reality? What would I be doing? That is exactly how you stroke the imagination. Like the embers. The embers appear to be dying, but they're just at rest. They just need a little bit of stirring up. And then that fire starts to build again. So you see, your imagination has not gone anywhere. You just don't practice using it. And what is the outcome of practice? The outcome of practice is being better at the thing you practice. So it stands to reason that if you practice imagination, how does one practice imagination? By seeing in your mind's eye what you want to experience. What would it be like if I wonder what that would feel like. And you stroke your chin, and you get all, how you get, ooh, if I did that, they would think I was nuts. You know what? I don't care if they think I'm crazy. I'm going to do it. Because I know if I did this, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If I did that. But you see, we sit and we plan on ways to be petty and think that we're not using our imagination. I read somewhere this woman had chimes. I don't know if they were 432 hertz. Probably not. But she had chimes. And a neighbor came over and said, I really don't like chimes. Can you take them down? The audacity, right? We don't know. Most people don't like chimes. And what did the neighbor do? The neighbor sat and thought about all the ways she could piss her neighbor off. And what did she do? Bought more chimes and hung them up. You see, we use our imaginations to be petty. But when it comes time for you to use your imagination to build a beautiful life, what's the first thing you say? I cannot. I don't know how. The same way you can be petty, the same way you cannot be petty. Both scenarios are just using the imagination. And we do it how? Naturally. This is what I'm trying to convey to you every single day. Every day. I read somewhere, because you know these Reddit streets. One woman posted and she said, oh my God. Must we really be reduced to what we're going to eat every day? Oh gosh. I asked Noah, I said, child, what you gonna make for supper? He goes, Ma, I don't know. I said, what do you feel like? He goes, I don't know. That's just, ugh, really? He's like, how do you do it? How do you plan these meals? And you've been doing it for years. Imagination. It's not every day you're gonna want to eat. Some days you'll say, I'll just settle with ramen. some days you just want to be whatever you want to be. And then other days you say, oh, can I make a creme brulee? Oh. Where's Eric? Eric says it's just cream and sugar with fire on it. It's just cream and sugar and burn it till it gets hard on the top so you can break it with your spoon. Creme brulee. Fired cream, I suppose that's what it means. Just get a little curious. Just get a little curious. Apply it to your life. Life is comprised of a series of experiences. Just experiences. So what kind of experience would you like to have? This girl was on Insta, and she's from Barbados. Woo woo. There's a pigeon everywhere, and she's dancing in the Lion King. What is she dancing as? She is one of the plants in the Lion King. Now, right off the bat, you would say, oh, please. I would rather be Simba or, you know, the chick. I forget her name, Nala. But this young lady, listen, first of all, you have to be a dancer. Because these dance moves that these plants do is rather intricate. They have to mimic the wind blowing on the plains. Now, that's a lot of intricate movement and a lot of stamina required. You think when she was learning how to dance, she said to herself, well, I don't know where I'll end up. She danced for the joy of dancing. And now what is she doing? Dancing for the joy of dancing. And who knows? Who knows where that will lead her? It already has her in the Lion King. Do you know what that does to your resume to say, I was a dancing bush in the Lion King? Do you know what that is like to get up night after night on a stage that grand, in front of an audience that grand? But it was an experience that she wanted to have. So she rehearsed, and she rehearsed, and she rehearsed until she perfected her dance moves so that she could do what? Audition. You see, there's a little tiny scripture that says a man's gifts makes room for him and brings him before great men. A man's what now? Gifts. Does what? Makes room. It makes room. How does it make room? How does it make room? Because it opens you up when you do what you love. You cannot see it with your physical eyes until the ending. But you become like an elephant. And they, elephants will clear a path, let me tell you. Elephants will clear a path. I learned that because I have these deck of cards by Kim Krantz. They're animal cards. She's a phenomenal artist. Kim Krantz. Beautiful artwork she does. And that's how I found her, because I was drawn to the image that she drew. You know what I'm saying? And so she just does artwork. And I can bet you anywhere, somewhere along the line, somebody said, artists don't make no money. What you gonna do with that? Hmm. Hmm. Oh, go do something with your life. See? You see what makes us stop? But you see the ember of the passion of what you want to do, what you want to become in the world. Oh, that'll make you dance and be a dancing bush in the Lion King. That'll make you continue to draw, and you will develop beautiful decks of cards. And her cards teach about nature and a whole bunch of other things. Oh, indeed. So what is it that you've got bottled up inside of you? And you're looking at it talking about, man, ain't no place in the world for this. Who's gonna buy it if I make it? A man's gifts makes room. So do what you love, because you're making room for it. You are, what do we call it? Now, if you're American, they call it a niche. You Canadian, they say your niche. Eh? What do you think a niche is? A place that you have carved out that is uniquely yours. But yet, we are going to tell me this morning, oh, Angela, don't quote scripture. I don't believe in no scripture. I don't believe in God. That shit's not real. I'm not here to tell you if it is real, if it is not real. What I'm saying to you, look at where it is in life. A man's gifts makes room. It carves out a niche. You keep putting what you love on the back burner and tell me where that niche is going to show up. That niche shows up because you work it and you work it. You are carving. You've got a mallet and a chisel like the great Michelangelo. And you are chiseling out the beauty. You're making room. And when you make room for something, it takes up space. And when it takes up space, people come into contact with it. But you see, your attitude that says, nobody's gonna want this, but then you're not making room. And if you're not making room, it can't take up space. And if it can't take up space, ain't nobody gonna see it. It's just an observation, you know. So you see, we do it naturally. When you rehearse who you say you want to become, you are making room for that thing. How are you making room for it? Psychologically, you are making a neurological pathway. What's pathway? Space. That you're going to travel down every single time. So if you're doing that mentally, as within, so without. The thing that you do mentally over and over and over and over again, and the way you do it, that is your habit. You tie your shoes, the way you part your hair, all of that is a habit. That is a neurological pathway in your brain. You have to practice it to make room for that. So the young man on the court, night, after sundown, George, get your behind inside. It's late. You haven't eaten. You've been out there for hours. He's making room for his gift. What gift? Shooting a hoop? Throwing a basketball in a net? Hello, it takes beautiful hand-eye coordination. It takes practice to do that. Oh, indeed it does. Look at Usain Bolt. I swear he ran out of the womb. I digress. But all of that running developed what for him? Larger lung capacity. What for? To accommodate what he was good at. And now the whole world knows how to do the lightning bolt. What? But we turn our noses up at those things sometimes because we think they have no value. Oh, well, that's good for him. He was born with that skill. No, he developed his skill. You may be born with it, but you've got to develop it, or else the world would never have seen the statue of David. If Michelangelo did not develop his skill. So imagination is also a skill. The use of imagination is a skill. And in order to develop a skill, one must do what now? Practice. And how do you practice using your imagination? With a simple question. What would it be like if I